All I have in this world is my balls and my word, and I don't break them for no one. Do you understand?
Okay, Balls, what's on your mind?
And we're back, cats. This is your old buddy Balls from Ellwood coming back to you again. Feels good to be back. I haven't talked to you guys in a bit. We got so much coming up here in the landscape here at Gonzo Podcast Network. There's just so very much to talk about, so much exciting shit coming up your guys' way. It's never been a better time to be a fan of the Gonzo Podcast Network right now. For one, let's just talk about the incredible fight we have coming up with High Pitch Eric versus Speech Impediment Man. That's going to be in Chicago on July 28th. If you go to eventbrite.com/e/Gonzo Podcasts, you'll be able to acquire a ticket. There's going to be limited tickets, but what you will get is, in fact, a one-of-a-kind day, man. You get to do all kinds of cool shit. You get front row tickets to the fight. You get to, you get to hang out with pretty much everybody on the network here. You're just going to be, there's going to be food, there's going to be drink, lots of laughs, and pretty much a one-of-a-kind, chance of a lifetime event, man. So, you could come and tell me what an ugly motherfucker I am in person. I mean, hey, whatever works. Yeah, but you should definitely come out and hang with us. I think you guys should definitely check that site out. Definitely get some tickets and come say hi to old Balls from Ellwood. I would love to meet all you guys. And but yeah, that's just one of many things we have coming up here, man. There's just a wealth of incredible talent and shows on this network. Things are really being built up and really coming together, man. Like, I couldn't be prouder to be part of this thing. So you guys, check out Eventbrite, get your tickets for the fight. Also, I mean, very, very big news I'm super excited about. Since I started this podcast, I've had so many different fans and so many different people ask me, Balls, like, when can we call in and, when are you going to go live? And, it's been nonstop since the time I started, which I never thought in a million years anybody would be interested in even hearing what I have to say, not alone, wanting to see me or interact with me. But I mean, that's the fucking cool thing about this network, man. If you like somebody on here, these people work their ass off and they bend over backwards and they love you guys. Like, everybody loves interacting with people and interacting with their fans, and this is just a very hands-on and interactive experience. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I see a lot of you guys that write me in on the email, which I appreciate. I love talking to you. I like talking to you guys on Twitter. And, everybody likes to, catch me on Facebook and stuff. But everybody has always asked since the beginning when I'm going to go live. So I've made a few little appearances here and there on other people's shows. But the big live Balls from Ellwood, long overdue live show, is going to be coming up here on March 25th. So don't be late. Please, please, please call in. I will be counting on you guys to call in with, a bevy of fucking insane, topics. Like, call in and I give you permission to ask me anything. Anything you want. I'm pretty much a dude that wears, his heart to sleeve. My life is surely an open book, so I would absolutely love. No questions too off limits. Call right in. In fact, I could probably give you the number right now. Why don't I do that? Get a pen, folks. You will be able to call me on March 25th. That will be Sunday at 7 o'clock. The live Balls from Ellwood first live show. Give me a call at 323-310-2820 and ask me anything. I'll be waiting for your calls and all your feedback, and I'd love to talk to all you motherfuckers. So if you can give me a call, we'll fucking shoot the shit, man. I call in about horror movies, fucking Stern, anything you want, man. I could give you a fucking great recipe for casserole. I'll give you love advice. Why not? Maybe I'm Dr. Balls of Love. I've been watching The Bachelor with my old lady, which we'll talk about later on, but, that's a whole nother thing. But, other than that, man, to keep you cats posted since last we spake. I went and seen a few flicks. Took my stepdaughter to see the new Strangers movie. We were a big fan of the first one, and she's surely into she's like my little horror movie buddy now, man. She's like just like on a mad tear to see every good horror flick there is. And we had our first big movie outing to go see. We watched the first one together, and so I was excited for this one. And I mean, I think the whole thing I liked the most was that seeing a young person and seeing I could see in her eyes man, this shit means every bit to her as it does to me. Since I was a kid, I've been infatuated and in love with the genre, and I continue to this day, and I probably will to the end of my life. I love the horror genre. I've been always chasing the dragon for the next movie and the next thing that's going to scare me, and I just see that in her, and it's so was it a great film? No, it wasn't as good as the original, I felt. Was it terrible? Not as bad as you read in the paper. You can't really trust critics, man. The bad thing about critics is they don't, if they review a genre film, they're not genre fans. So, I mean, of course they're going to, be harsh critics on things that they are, in fact, not a fan of. So, I mean, I'll give you the honest review. It was nice seeing it with her because she loved it. I mean, she's still fresh and new into this, but I've become such a jaded old fuck. I mean, it's very redundant. I mean, if I could think of one thing to say, it's kind of goofy at times, and there's times where it's actually scary. And I mean, overall, it's the good outweighs the bad. But I mean, is it something I'd have to rush out and plunk hard-earned money down for right now? Not really. Is it something you could easily redbox and probably turn your brain off and enjoy when it comes out? Yeah, I think I would probably recommend you just do that. And the only other weird thing is they had a very weird choice of music. It seems like when the baghead or the man in the bag or whatever fucking kills people, and he's infatuated with 80s love songs, which is very, I guess some people would find it spooky. I found it a little kind of odd and off-putting, but I mean, other than that, it's your typical fucking, your typical psychos chasing around, people to kill them movie, your basic slasher. So, nothing you never seen before, and it's surely not the worst thing you ever seen. It's, but yeah, like I said, it's a red boxer. Other than that, I had the privilege, man. I remember when this flick was coming out, I'm not real familiar with a lot of these Disney assholes, but I know there was a big to-do that one of these fucknuts that used to play on a Disney show was going to play the role of Jeffrey Dahmer, and it was based on a graphic novel called My Friend Dahmer, which I always thought was pretty interesting. So it was interesting to see it, how it portrayed and played out the film. And I have to say, I don't know who the kid is, but I have to say, he did a really damn good job playing Jeffrey Dahmer. The film was captivating, man. It covers pretty much his upbringing, his family life, what kind of turned him into the monster. And I mean, unfortunately, the only thing I could say negatively about it is it kind of stops right before his first victim. But I would have liked to seen it going a little further into the the madness of him. But I mean, it basically focuses on him growing up, so it makes sense. So I mean, highly recommended, cats. I love genre films. I don't know so much if it classifies as a horror film, but it is very horrifying, the things that, in fact, you see indeed. So, you want a good serial killer film, check out My Friend Dahmer. Other than that, I think, you were talking about serial killer films, I think the be-all, end-all to me, man, is fucking Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. I'll always have a special place in my heart for that, man. It introduced me to Michael Rooker. I fucking love Rooker. In fact, we're actually heading to Horror Hound, as I think I've mentioned before, next weekend. So I'll be at Horror Hound the weekend of right before my live show, and I'll be coming back from Cincinnati, and I'll be going right into doing my live show. So I should have a lot of cool shit to talk about. I should have a lot of cool stories, talking to some cool cats, man. If you go on Horror Hound's website, you can see the roster of all the people I'm going to be, rapping with. Hopefully a lot of these people will let me fucking ask them a few questions. If I could gather some of that shit, man, you're going to hear it coming up on the shows to come. So, I have actually confirmed, I'm going to tickle your ass with a feather here a little bit. I actually just got confirmation yesterday that one of my biggest childhood idols and one of my favorite directors that's going to be there did in fact, confirm that I'm actually going to be able to interview him while I'm up there. So that's going to be a great time. If you want to find out who it is, maybe I'll give you some clues next week, or I'll just come out and tell you. It depends on how it goes. If the interview goes well, I'll just come out and tell you. If it goes shitty, I'm probably just going to, fucking lie and say it was Jim J. Bullock from fucking Too Close for Comfort or something. So, either way, I'll let you know more next week. I just wanted to tease you a little bit there. So, anyway, moving right along. I got a question for you cats. I'd like to know if you email me at the show at wendychops1976 at gmail.com. Send me in your worst fart story. I was sitting around the other day and I was trying to ask people what their worst fart story was. And I have to say, man, as long as I live, I actually witnessed a fart story so incredibly funny that, there's times in my adult life where I'll just be working or doing something and this image comes into my mind and I can't stop fucking laughing, man. Case in point, I'll tell you the story. I was, when I was younger, and I used to have to go out and help my mom, because my mom is actually, has MS real bad, and, she doesn't get around real good, so she got her on all this medication, and I ended up, taking her to the mall, and occasionally I'll push her in a wheelchair, and occasionally she has to walk a little bit, so she'll hang on to me, and we were walking through the mall one day, and she was holding on to me, and she didn't know at this point. I didn't realize there was a couple walking directly behind us with their little girl, and I don't know, this little girl could have been more than 4 or 5 years old. Cute as a button, has a little ponytail, bright-eyed and ready to fucking take on the world. And I'm walking with my mom, she's holding on to me, and I happen to see something out of my peripheral, and I happen to glance down. I just realized this little girl is drastically close to my mom's asshole, and she's easily, probably a foot from a foot from her asshole level. So I'm like, wow, that's really weird. Maybe I was expecting her parents to be like, hey, little girl, get back here, but they never did. They were too busy, caught up in their own thing. So I was just getting ready to say something, and then it happens, man. My mom blows the fucking Mount St. Helens of farts in this little girl's face, man. Her asshole and this little girl's mouth was inches apart, and it was it was whenever a wave washes over you. I still see it to this day. This little girl looked like she's seen the fucking ghost of Christmas past. If you could have seen her eyes fucking bugged out like 50-cent pieces. She must have been breathing in at the time, and she got a nice big old fucking mouth and lungs full of my mom's rancid fucking fart. It probably smelled like the Holocaust. It could have killed, it could have fucking killed a marriage and peeled the wallpaper. And just to look at this girl's face, she looked like she seen a ghost. She was it looked like somebody punched her in the fucking solar plexus. She couldn't breathe. She was stunned a little bit. And I can't stand it, man. I wish I could hardwire a fucking, a cord up to my head and upload this image of this little girl and just the fucking sheer terror and the look on her face, because it makes me fucking laugh. It makes me fucking laugh to the point where I must pass out sometimes, man. It'll hit me at the wrong time. And after it happened, I actually I was laughing so hard, my mom turns red like the fucking lobster in The Little Mermaid, and she's yelling at me. She's like, Michael, And I'm fucking on my knees in tears, man. I got tears dropping down my face. I'm on my knees in the middle of the wall because I can't stop laughing. Because my mom just blew this little girl's fucking eyebrows out and made her eat her farts. I mean, I have to say, man, that does it for me every time. I mean, the only number two I could think of, no pun intended, is I was at when I was younger. We'd always got, I was always forced to go to this church I didn't like, and I'd always have to go every Sunday, and they'd make me wake up, and I'm already miserable to begin with. But I remember this to this day. Again, it's a little girl. I'm sitting in the pews at this church. And I'm falling asleep, and my mom's with me on the one side, my stepdad's on the other side, and there happens to be I happen to focus on in the row ahead of me. There's a little girl, and she's playing with her little fucking cars and Barbies and shit, and eating Cheerios, and she's like the most dainty, like smallest, like petite little thing you'll ever see. Again, she's super cute and. Like a blessed little angel, and then it happens. It was quiet as fuck in there, and then you hear like I couldn't believe the sound and just the I couldn't even believe the how much noise and sound it could echo, and it came out of this little girl's petite little bunghole, and it fucking echoed through the whole church. And everybody was trying to fucking maintain their composure, and I fucking couldn't stop laughing because it ricocheted. Her little asshole ricocheted off the fucking wood seats, and it just blurbled all over the fucking seat. And it's like one of the only fucking fart I think I've heard that's funnier is Mike Walker's. I mean, but I have to say, if I had it on a loop, oh my god, I wish I could fucking play it. But I think about that, and it makes me almost fucking piss my pants, too. Like, just out of nowhere, I'll hear a little girl fart, and it blobbles off a fucking pew in church, or else I'll hear I think of the story the time my mom blew a little girl's eyebrows off with her fucking fart, and I have to say, man, good times. I have to, the old times of the salad years, I think back to those good old days, and I think what I'm trying to say is the good old days make me smile, cats. So, why don't you guys send me in I can't even think of a fucking, I probably got tons of good fart stories, but any of the good ones I think probably entail me drinking or doing something and I end up shitting my pants. So, I mean, it's a little anticlimactic, I think. But I'd like to hear some of yours, man. Email me at wendychops1976@gmail.com. And not only that, cats, if you are so inclined, if you like hearing my tales of fucking farts and shit and retardedness and the ridiculousness, and you like hearing XTina's Depravity, I would surely appreciate it if you go and you donate our show at gonzopodcast.com, and you donate to the network, and you're going to be getting something for your money, man. You're going to be helping me out and helping the network out, which we've been working hard to provide this awesome content to you. I mean, where else are you going to hear these fucking stories? But yeah, I mean, it would be greatly appreciated. Everybody works hard, and everybody is really, really busting their ass to put on the best show they can. And any donations you guys could, surely part with would really be going to a good cause. I mean, I don't want to sound like a fucking Jerry Lewis telethon, and I surely don't want to sound like Sally Struthers trying to fucking raise a couple nickels for fucking, people kids that are out in the middle of the desert that can't eat. But it will definitely go to a good cause, and it will definitely, make my show and everybody else's show better, and help a lot of people out. So if you can find it in your heart to give, that's great. If not, we're going to keep doing what we're doing. So, but moving right along, that last segment kind of made me think about something I actually wanted to talk a little bit about. Have you ever been dining at a restaurant and you feel like your waiter or server has kind of crossed the line? And how do you deal with it? I mean, I was just curious. I was out the other day, and I'm like, I don't understand what makes, people think that they can, in fact, go out on a limb and talk to you a certain way. Case in point, I'll tell you the story, cats. I actually went out to, eat the other night, and we ended up stopping at Applebee's. Or, I'm sorry, I don't want to get sued. Crapplebee's? It sounds a lot like Crapplebee's. That's where we went. But we ended up stopping there for dinner. And I had a fucking pretty rough day, man. Like, anyone that knows me, for being a big fucking fat dude, I actually have a pretty physical job. I'm surprised I could actually do it. I'm finally getting regulated, man. I had some health issues for a while, and I'm finally starting to sort of get back and get my shit together. So, I have had a lot of shit in my mind lately, and I'm finally starting to hopefully get my head back on straight. So, I'm actually... I was actually looking forward all day to be good to go and have, after a grueling fucking day at work, having a nice, nice little dinner with my fiance. So we're there, and I'm fucking hanging out and just, eating an appetizer and chilling, and one of these fucknut servers goes past my table, and he's like, "Hey, big guy, nice shirt." And then I'm like, normally it wouldn't even register to me, but I think it was because I was in such a fucking, just a fucking annoyed, and like I was already edgy because like I was fucking tired and beat up and shit, and I lift heavy shit all day at work for a living, and it's just kind of annoying. So I mean, I think I might have already been like extra on edge, and I'm just like, I just kind of fucking ignored it. But like normally, then as I thought about it, I'm like, it kind of pissed me off because I'm like, first of all, like it would be totally unacceptable had I'd said something back. And this dude was a gorky fucking, bald goonie looking fuck. And I'm like, I'd wondered what he would have said, and I regret not doing it now. If I would have said, "Hey, thanks, you bald eagle fuck," I wonder if he would have like took it nearly as nonchalantly as I did. And I mean, not only that, it's like, I'm there, I'm trying to eat dinner, I'm trying to have a nice fucking, a nice dinner with my fiance, and I'm not looking, I'm really not looking for anything else, no interaction with people. People I find a fucking misery to begin with, and it's tough for me to even want to fucking interact. I mean, unless unless you're, somebody that's in my, you're somebody that's into like what I'm into. I mean, it makes things a lot easier for me to connect. So that's on me. I'm a fuck up to begin with. So I mean, that's my problem, but which I know and I fully address and I'm aware of. But I'm just like, when is it acceptable to just like fucking say stupid shit to people you don't know? Like, I'm like thinking, I just don't like. If I was a server, I wouldn't, I wouldn't be like, "Oh, hey, I like your top lady with no tits," or "Hey there, dude that's wearing fucking, jeans that are two times too small and I could see your little fucking dinky. Would you like a quesadilla, motherfucker?" Or perhaps, "Hey, fucking, asshole with the ears the size of frisbees, would you like some fucking chicken strips?" I just don't understand, the brashness of people anymore. Because I'm surely not looking for that. I'm just kind of looking to be low-key and... it kind of just took me out of the mood. It kind of put me in a shitty mood. I don't understand why, people think I need to give a fuck about their opinion. This dude looked like a fucking asshole anyway. I'm like I give a fuck if you approve of my fucking Misfits shirt, dude. You look like you should be listening to fucking John Tesh at the fucking Red Rocks, cocksucker. Like, I give a fuck, right, that you approve of my shirt. So... I hate that shit, man. Like, people drive me up the fucking wall. Like, I can't stand them. Like, I'm not even looking for that shit, man. When I look at people, when I go out in the fucking everyday world of this fucking, just this world of fucking depravity and ugliness and filth and shit and school shootings and fucking horrible shit every day, the last thing I'm doing is looking around and going, "Oh, hey, who can I fucking single out and fuck with?" Like, I just keep to myself, and And if somebody fucking's a dick, I surely will fucking answer to it. But, I'm basically, you follow the simple fucking rule of, like, if you're cool with me, I'll be fucking cool to you. I don't give a fuck what color you are or, what fucking genitalia you like to suck. I don't give a fuck. Like, if you're cool to me, like, you're fine. I'll be cool to you back. But if you're a dickhead, surely I'm going to be a dickhead too. So I just thought it was very interesting, and I mean, I'm probably being majorly oversensitive, which I'm aware of. But I mean, had that happened to you, cats, and would that piss you off? Like, would you feel annoyed? Like, I don't know. Like, I sort of feel I'm kind of being a pussy about it, but then I'm sort of like, fuck that, man. Like, I don't need that shit. Like, I already fucking know. Like, it's not like it's this big surprise to me. Like this dude fucking told me I'm fucking, oh, big guy. No, now here's a grand revelation. Holy fuck, man. If this dude never told me or called me big guy, I would never have any idea that I'm a big fat jalopity fuck. Like that's what's so funny. Like wow, like thanks, dude. Like you just turned my life around. I had no fucking idea, I'm the one that lives in this fat fucking ugly body every day and has to look in the mirror and fucking deal with it and polish this turd to even go out. So less of you motherfuckers will even run their mouth and shit. So I'm surely fully fucking aware. That's I don't understand how people don't fucking possibly get that. Everybody in their own way has a cross to bear, man. Like I'm not going out and being so judgmental of everybody. I don't pick everybody's shit out. I don't go on the street hey shorty, hey fucking lesbian, hey gay guy, hey this, hey that, hey person that has fucking gimpy arm. Everybody's so fucking judgmental nowadays and so full of just wanting to fucking make themselves feel better about everybody else, and it makes me fucking sick. I fucking hate all you judgmental fucks. Why can't you just be cool and fucking treat people with respect like everybody else? I could see if somebody gives you a reason, but other than that, go fuck yourself. That's just all these self fucking absorbed assholes when you go on fucking social media, and everybody acts like their fucking opinion's the best. Everybody acts like anybody gives a fucking fuck stick, a flying fuck about everyone's opinion. Everybody acts everyone's fucking waiting at the end of the keyboard just to hear what these fucking idiots say. I don't get it, man. People live and die for this shit now. There's so much social media and so much different shit you can outlets to express things, and it's all these fucking trolls, and they everybody probably living in their goddamn parents' basement, jerking off the fucking clown porn before they go to bed, and then I'm the asshole, that's what's funny. Well, I think before I have a stroke, I'm going to go take my fat guy pills, and actually, I'm going to hand you cats off to you know her, you love her. It's XTina and Depravity Corner. I'll be back. I'm going to go get my my stroke pills.
Yeah, try not to kill yourself. Jeez Louise. Someone has maybe some anger issues today? Alright, I'll shut up now. Anyway, listen, here's something to make you angry. Let's talk some depravity. So, there's a story out of Ohio this past week that someone near Cleveland that got me really fired up. So there's this kid who shot his sister. Okay, you hear these things pretty often. This kid is 8, and his sister is 3. He shot his sister with a gun that he had in his home that was locked up, and he was able to unlock this case and load the gun and shoot his 3-year-old sister. Now, I find that very interesting, and I know a lot of people who, teach their kids at a young age how to shoot guns and whatnot, but I thought you were supposed to teach them not to touch it when you're not home. And here's the kicker. Not only did he unlock a gun case, load a gun, shoot his 3-year-old sister 4 times, there were no parents at home. Yeah, what the heck is going on? So, the boy, in a panic, calls mommy, who's at work. Now granted, I give him credit, at least she's at work, And the dad, I think, was at work as well. So it's not like, they're out doing drugs on the corner. So that's a switch, which is great. But still, they're at work nonetheless, leaving an 8-year-old home alone with a 3-year-old. I have a 9-year-old who's, relatively responsible. I would never leave her home alone. Never. And I surely would not leave her home alone with a small child. Good Lord, the things that could happen. So this little girl, God help her, somehow is still alive. She did not get killed. Apparently, I don't know if the bullets just grazed her or what the heck happened, but she didn't even really get that injured. But so the little boy calls his mommy. Mommy comes running home from work, checks the situation out, checks out the little girl, I guess washes off some blood, removes these blood-stained sheets from a bed, and goes back to work. She did not take this kid to the hospital for something like 4 or 5 more hours. She left them there back again alone. And on top of that, never told her husband. Her husband found out when he got home from work, prior to her getting back from being at work again. Here's the story, and I guess he took the little girl to the hospital. Oh my God, what? I mean, my God, just when you think you've heard it all. Every day it's just so amazing, unbelievable. I'm so confused. Please, Balls, tell me, what is wrong with these people?
In a nutshell, they're all fucking fucktards. Every week we hear some story like this. Every week I can't stand it, man. You guys are going to have to bolt the chair down because I'm fired up this week. Fuck these fucking people, man. If you can't take care of your fucking kids, I mean, granted, you're working. Okay, that's great. Good for fucking you. But everybody else I know works and manages to not have their kid fucking full of lead and be able to use it as a pencil, too, you fucknut. I just don't get it. Better yet, how does a kid know how to open the box, load the gun, all that shit? It's probably some fucking macho posturing bullshit dickhead dad that's fucking trying to be goddamn fucking Death Wish and fucking show him how cool this fucking gun is, kid. And then he fucking wants to be like his fucking faggot dickhead dad. Fuck these people. I fucking hate them all. And when I say faggot, let me say it's not a derogatory term to homosexuals. That's just fucking how I talk. So please take no offense. I love you guys. I love you. I love you faggots. So please don't get fucking upset. Just fucking, chill the fuck out. I love you faggots. I love you fucking lesbians too. All you. So, that being said, I'm getting off the topic here. But these people fucking drive me nuts. These motherfuckers are going to hinge me on sanity this week. I just hate, if you can't fucking raise kids, don't shit them out, you motherfuckers. If you're not going to pay attention to them, don't fucking have them. Wear fucking rubber, do something, but fuck. I just don't, fuck. Oh my God, this week you're driving me, I can't stand it. I'm going to fucking explode this week. You better give me the next story, I can't stand it.
Alright, I think I'm going to up your pills here. Let's find him a tranquilizer dart. He's getting hit with it tonight. Anyway, that's that. I don't know what else to say about that, but my next issue is this. So, in California, last week, there was a situation you might have heard about at the VA hospital where a veteran who was, I'm not sure which service branch he was in, but he served in several wars. I mean, he was in Afghanistan. He was an active duty guy. So, and he had PTSD really bad. And he was going to the VA, and he was involved in this program where they counseled people with severe PTSD. And believe me, I can totally, empathize. I can't sympathize because I've never been in that situation. So I empathize with somebody. I can't even imagine what you've seen, what you've done, what you have to live with, and how that fucks with your mind. I can't imagine. So I get it. So these lovely women, they work night and day, really hard, got fancy degrees in psychology, and, they're supposed to be counseling these people to make them better. I mean, nobody's ever going to fully recover from that, but, they can at least give them tools and things and talk it out, and, they're professionals. They know how to talk with people. Well, I have no idea what exactly happened to this guy, but apparently it was such a nut that they had to kick him out of the program. So, your job is to help these people, and you can't even help them, so you kick him out, and then what? So if he's such a nut, do you call the authorities? Do you just... So apparently they just let him go. They're like, sorry, buddy, we can't help you no more. I mean, I don't know. I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but this is what the media is making it out to sound like. So the guy, a little perturbed, comes back and takes them hostage. And has a gun and a rifle and this and that, and he proceeds to, I guess he had so many hostages, and then he'd let so many go, and then he, kept these 3 women for a few hours, I think 5 or 6 hours, and, there were SWAT teams outside, there were, people there to help the situation, and again, I'm not a cop, so I don't know how all that works either, but usually, it seems like 90% of the time, these things somehow magically end peacefully, or at least the perpetrator himself just shoots himself and goes to, about his day, being dead and all. But, so, unfortunately, these 3 women, young women I might add, and one was pregnant, all got murdered. They all got murdered because they couldn't counsel this guy with PTSD. Now, I don't know, again, what went wrong and how you're supposed to help somebody, but if they truly kicked him out of this program because they felt he was too nuts, why were the authorities not contacted? And why did the SWAT team not... I don't know. Why were they unable to save these poor women? I don't understand, and it's so heartbreaking, and, gosh, I know we can't save the world, we can't save everybody, but, it's just so crazy. So, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, Balls? Try to contain yourself, or I'm getting the tranquilizer dart.
I'm not going to make any promises. I hear this and it breaks my fucking heart, man. It sounds to me like a couple different things. It sounds to me like the people that were actually in charge of bringing this situation to a peaceful resolution became too cowardly to fucking take care of it. And it seems like almost a running, like a fucking, it's just like a pattern these days. I see this, when all these different things happen, it seems like it's almost, it just is going to happen, and this pattern happens repeatedly, and it makes me sick. If you're going to take a job in that field, don't be afraid to get your hands dirty whenever the time comes. A lot of the job, I guarantee, isn't, doing this shit, but whenever push comes to shove, man, you got people's life hanging in the balance, and the pendulum swings, motherfucker. You better be ready to act, and a lot of these people don't. And then, the situation, it could have probably been well contained, but then you have all these deaths on your head. So I hope you can sleep at night, you cowardly fuck. That's how I feel. If you're gonna take a job, you better fucking live that life. You better want that life, and that's all about your fucking what you want to do. But not only that, it's puzzling to me that they kicked this fucking dude out. That's like saying hey, welcome to Alcoholics Anonymous. Oh, you're an alcoholic? Get the fuck out of here. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. So I don't know. Maybe you might want to get those darts ready, because I don't know if I can fucking handle another one this week.
Lucky for you, I have no more depravity. Well, I'm sure there's plenty, but for this week, I'm going to call it quits before you have a heart attack and keel over, because I sort of love you, and I sort of need you.
Oh, I'm sort of happy. Maybe we'll move on to some brighter topics here. In the meantime, cats, don't forget to donate to not only this show, but Gonzo Podcast in general. Just go to gonzopodcast.com and feel free to donate and make this show better and all the other shows on the network as well. And feel free to please email me at wendychops1976 at gmail.com, and I want you cats to weigh in as well. What do you think of these situations? What do you think of me? Do you think I need to up my medication? All these answers and questions, feel free to interact and send me an email. So, coming up next, I think we're going to move on to, at least less stressful topics, but I think we're going to talk a little segment I'd like to call Exes and Ohs. So, when you guys come back, tune back in, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Coming up next, cats, is a little segment I'd like to have reoccurring from time to time where XTina and I get together and we talk about relationships and stuff. And it all started because I was sitting here watching The Bachelor, or The Snatchler, I should call it, with XTina one night, and we were arguing as to whether it was a scripted show or not. And I always find it funny that these douchebags like that Airy dude or whatever the fuck his name was in this one. This one is especially douchey. I never really had much interest in watching it to begin with, but then I got sucked into it, man. Because I just can't imagine how a dude can even be a bigger douche on top of a douche on top of a douche. Every time I think he couldn't fucking raise the bar, this motherfucker found a way to do it. So it was quite interesting, quite entertaining. I got sucked in. So yes, I guess I am now officially a homo for watching The Bachelor. You're welcome. So. But that being said, relationship-wise, I think it's very skewed. I think it's funny. I don't think it's good. And here's why. I think you have young, impressionable kids and young women watching this, and then they assume they're going to meet fucking their Disney prince, and he's going to fucking fly them to goddamn, wherever the fuck they want to go. Their dream place, and they're going to do these dream dates, and everything in life is going to go peachy keen, and everything, you're always going to have a surplus of money, and places to go, and things to talk about, and things that are interesting, and unfortunately, fucking life ain't like that. It's very the opposite of that. There's a lot of times in what builds relationships is some of the bad stuff. You find that you love each other so much that you find ways to work around it. You find ways to both lean on each other and cope with each other. And that's a lot of the important things in a relationship, I think, that aren't learned from fucking flying to Cairo on a goddamn fucking $3,000 jet and fucking eating $500 pieces of sushi a night and then shitting out champagne with all these fucking retards. So that's how I feel about that. But it makes me definitely think about relationships and the effect it has, this show has on the people that watch it. I think it's a pile of shit, but I do find myself when I see piles of shit to be entertained, and I do like watching them. So, I'm going to hand it over to XTina, and what do you think about that?
Well, and I agree with you. I'm not going to deny that. It is absolutely unrealistic. But, a lot of the girls are remotely intelligent that go on there, and they do know that it is a show, and that the show is footing all this bill, and that, most of the bachelors, however, do have money in real life, which I also despise. I really would love to see a season where they kind of pick, an average guy and just, that they want you to love him for him and not because he's got money. And then I think you'd get a different caliber of women as well, but I'm not knocking it. I love the show. It is a guilty pleasure. But yeah, do I agree with it wholeheartedly? Absolutely not. I don't think that a lot of it is realistic, and, and I think you have to go into that knowing that it's not, and knowing that it's, and I think they have gotten smarter over the years. A lot of these girls are like, well, I don't know, I'll go on, maybe I'll make some friends, maybe I'll, get some free trips, worst case scenario, all of America knows me, I get all these Instagram likes, and then I advertise, baby blue shorts, I don't freaking know, but, and then they make money off of that. So, if you win, you win. If you find love, hey, great. And ultimately, I am looking for the cheesy love story that they actually do fall in love and make fun of me. I don't care. It actually works. It has happened. It doesn't happen often. It's a horrible situation to be put in. And, but I have seen it work out, and there are several couples that I absolutely adore that have come out of it, and I think are great. But what I would love to see, them do a spin-off show of like the follow-up of what happens when you go back to reality. Because, I mean, I know, at least one couple, they were struggling because the guy decided to do Dancing with the Stars directly after, and you're supposed to be, trying to work on your newfound relationship in real life. And how the heck are you supposed to do that when you're, practicing dancing all day and, doing this show? And granted, they're opening that suitcase full of money, and, it's that opportunity. And I get it, believe me. Gosh, it's like, oh, I better do it because this opportunity is not going to come along again. But at the same time, if you're taking that relationship seriously, you should really do it. Lucky for them, they worked it out. I mean, they got through it and everything, and they're better for it. But I would love to see them follow that. With that being said, I wanted to talk about, there was a stupid little spinoff called The Winter Games, and I really didn't watch it. I didn't really pay much attention. And there was the couple that won, ultimately broke up not long ago, so they only lasted a whopping 3 months. But what's cool is the girl has a podcast, and she actually talked about it openly on her podcast and had the dude come on, and he talked about it, and basically said, like, when you're in that bubble, it's easy to be attracted to each other and like each other and this and that, but when you get back into reality, you realize, hey, wait a minute, your lifestyle is so ridiculously different than mine that there's, no way this could ever work out. And, for real. And not that I don't, adore you, but there's just, this isn't going to work. And it clearly, you could tell, they're just very different people, ultimately. And that brings me to an interesting point. We were talking about relationships, and I mean, those guys agreed, not even agreed to be friends, but they just said, we're better off as friends, and they'll check in on each other every now and then, and they're gonna run into each other at events because they are part of this franchise. But in real life, how do you feel about remaining friends with exes? Everybody, I don't want to say everybody, but people often think I'm weird because, I've maintained friendships with my exes. I mean, do we go out and have coffee? No. Do we, go out and party together? No. But I mean, if I see them somewhere, I mean, we're very friendly, ask how we're doing. I'm friends with a few of them on Facebook. They have kids, babies. I love to see what's going on in their lives. I mean, it's, if you've spent a significant amount of time with somebody and they were a big part of your life and you loved them at some point, I feel like it's natural to want to assuming that it didn't end terribly. And that's where the big difference, I think, lies. If it didn't end, if it ended amicably, which a lot of my relationships did, it's just you realize, you want different things and this isn't for you anymore. And, and you can end things amicably and still be friends. Granted, and a lot of people, gosh, I know people who've remained really good friends, and they go on and they get remarried, and the other person gets remarried, and then these two couples become best friends and they go out all the time. Now that I think is a little much, but I'm friendly with a lot of my exes, and I think that it's normal. I mean, I want to know how they're doing. I genuinely cared about them, and I still genuinely care about them. Except for that one guy who tried to have me killed and, slice my tires. And of course I don't give a crap about him. I really don't. So no, I don't want to know about that. And so there's, there is a big difference. It all depends, I think, on how it ends. It all depends on the people themselves. And there's a lot of factors. But, I do think that there's a line that you have to draw. I'm certainly not going to go have coffee with my ex. Maybe if I was single and, it was one of these deals where you're like, oh, you're in town for the day. Hey, stop, let's go have coffee together. Now, it's different. Now, I would never do that because I have a fiance and that is completely disrespectful. So again, there's a line, and you have to not cross that line. Let's see how Balls feels about my rant.
That's funny you say that. Actually, Balls has some very different feelings about exes. I mean, you were bringing up a lot of good points. I mean, I honestly can't tell you about, a decent breakup, because, like, I've maybe had one that I think was amicable, I think, and, but mostly they all been nightmare, wasteland, crazy, horrible, fucking seventh layer of hell fucks, and, there was no good breakup. In fact, most of these soul-sucking fucking cunt twat bitches fucking pretty much, almost fucking put me in the fucking nut house. So, yeah, I don't look at exes that way. I think they call them exes for a reason, because they are, in fact, just that. I don't give a fuck where these assholes are at. I don't give a fuck if they're living or they're fucking dead. I prefer the latter. I don't think about them. The minute somebody fucks me over and pulls the shit that half of these fucking cunt faces have done to me, like any feeling that's even remotely decent leaks right out of my asshole the second it happens. And there's no revisiting. There's no, I wonder how they're doing. Like, I hope they're fucking dead. Like, I don't fucking wonder at all. In fact, it makes me puke almost every time I think of these fucking ugly twats. So, I don't have the same great feelings. And I mean, it maybe is because I never had an amicable breakup. But I did. But I don't think I would handle it the same way. I had the last girlfriend I was with, it was amicable, and I still don't give a fuck. Like, I don't think about her. Like, I could give a shit. Like, I am happy now. I'm with my fiance. I've had people approach me and ask me to, take them back or fucking go have coffee with them or shit like that. And but the answer is always the same: go fuck yourself. So it's never gonna change. That's the way I always feel. And I mean, that's me. I mean, that's the way I'm wired. And I mean, is it right? I don't know. Is it wrong? I don't know. That's Balls just being Balls. So I'll give it back to you, XTina. There's my rant.
All right. I mean, I don't think you're wrong. I know a lot of people are like that. They just, once it's done, and you move on. But, here's another funny thing. So, speaking of exes and, this and that, this is kind of like off the topic, but that's okay. Balls and I, again, are very different. Excuse me. But obviously, I'm a woman, and I don't know, I like to think I'm like a somewhat respectable woman. And, we've had this argument a couple of times, and ultimately he made me put it out on Facebook as like a poll. And so I'd love to know you guys' thoughts on this situation. But he thinks that women like rank exes amongst each other. Like, say you're hanging out with your girlfriends, and in random conversation it just comes up that you're like, oh, Bobby was so much better in bed than Johnny, and oh my god, he really got me off. And yeah, I mean, maybe some girls do, and I'm apparently being told that some do, but that's not me. It's not most of my closest friends. We're just not wired that way. But he finds this hard to believe. I'm very naive, and I'm very sheltered, and
I don't think they're being 100% honest is what I think it is. I think people are repressed and they're embarrassed and they won't be honest about it. I think you're very base, insides. People do it when they don't even realize they're doing it. I have a very clear-cut list of how things were, and I'm sure every dude I am friends with does. So and chicks at this point, I think, are fucking worse than dudes, man. Like, you should hear them talk. I mean, it's a different age. I just don't think they're being very honest. That's the only thing I'm trying to say.
Well, I do agree with that. And, I have some friends that, the ones that said, oh yeah, sure, I keep track of that stuff, but they're like, hardcore, like tough New Yorker chicks. And it's very funny because, like, I can see that, yeah, you do like my fake New York accent, my New Yorker friends. But they're like that. They're just like, they're like one of the dudes. And I'm not very girly myself, but at the same time, like, I don't know, I just don't feel like I talk like that. I've never been that way. And, like, I remember in high school, my girlfriends, like, hiding things from me, like, and I didn't know what was going on. And, years later, I'm finding out they were like, grabbing dudes' dicks behind, and I'm just like, wait, what? Like, I don't even know if I knew what a penis was when I was 15, So I was very sheltered. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Like, I don't know. So maybe that's the difference. And I do think that is the difference. I think it's all about how you were raised, the environment you grew up with, the friends that you surrounded yourself with. It all, is how it is. And yeah, I do think girls are bad these days. And I do think that a lot of that is because they're, social media maybe. I mean, there's a lot more access to knowledge that, we didn't have when we were my age. And I mean, I was very naive. I found out what sex was watching the, was that Kennedy guy? He was on trial for rape. And they were describing it in great detail. And I'm like, wait, is that rape? Is that sex? What does that mean? I was so confused. And I was literally like 15. So, yeah, we didn't have the internet. We didn't have, and, my parents didn't talk about that stuff openly. So I probably could have asked them, but who wants to talk to your parents about that stuff? Jesus. So, yeah, I'm a little, I don't know, backwards, I guess. But, either way, it was just a very funny thing, and ultimately, the majority of my friends said, "Yeah, we don't talk like that," and so I was like, "Oh, thank God!" So I also won a back massage, so that's pretty sweet. Thanks, Balls.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. I guess am I right? Is XTina right? I don't know. I think I'm gonna throw up a Twitter poll for you cats to decide. But I throw a Twitter poll up. I'll leave it up for a few days, and, I'm more curious to see what you guys think. Why don't you be the deciding factor? And that's going to do it, folks. We blew through the show. I mean, sorry about the technical difficulties. I know the first half of the show sounded like fucking poop on diarrhea. I'm actually testing out new equipment, and it kind of interfered. But hopefully you guys got the message all the same. I assure you next week will be the live show, and it won't sound like that. And all the other pre-records will be back to regular ball standard. So no worries, kids. But that being said, it's always a pleasure to have you guys tuning in. Don't get discouraged. Thanks always for tuning in to the Gonzo Podcast Network and my show, The Balls from Ellwood Show. Tell your friends. Spread the word. Be a team player and tell everybody, you got to hear this crazy fucker on the radio. Spread the word, kids. I love you all. It's always a pleasure. Peace and love. Peace and love. This is Balls. Signing off.
Audio Jungle.